Hello, 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 everyone. Good afternoon. Hope your week has been really fantastic and you've enjoyed the sunshine and the heat wave. Today on Diamonds and Pear, we've got another fantastic session. We've got a lovely lady, Tommie Edwards, who will be sharing some stuff with us today, some very key nuggets. But before I continue, Talu, can you do the honors of introducing our guest?
Sure. Hi, everyone. It's another lovely day, as Elizabeth said, and we're happy to have you on here with us. Thanks for tuning in on Diamonds and Pearls. So today we have a lovely lady with us. She wears many hats and she's quite an inspiration to the community. She's got lots and lots of achievements, and I was having a catch up with her yesterday. I was just telling her how proud and how I find her quite inspirational. Sorry guys, I think we have a little bit of a relay, so I'm just gonna try and remove that relay. Just bear with me 1 second. Right, okay. I think that's sorted. Right, okay. Okay, sorry about that, guys. Just a little bit of a relay on my side, internet issues. Right, okay, so I'm so excited to introduce Tommie Edwards. She's the CEO of Tedbree. She's an award-winning tech entrepreneur, and that's amazing. I'm so excited to be introducing a woman in technology. And she's the group chief executive of Tedbree, and our company is a tech company. She creates digital solutions to empower forward-thinking businesses in the marketplace. So I'm just gonna, leave her to, give us a little bit more info about what she does, what the business does. But I wanted to mention before we go on that in 2019, last year, Financial Times and the Inclusive Board named Tommie Edwards among the top 100 most influential leaders in the UK for her work with Tedbree, and we all know that's no mean feat to be selected as top 100 most influential by Financial Times. So, we're so pleased to have you on here with us. Thanks for honoring us with your presence, Tommie, and we can't wait to hear all the nuggets that you're going to share with us today. And so I'll be handing back over to Elizabeth, who's the hostess with the mostest. That's what I. That's how I always introduce her, and she takes us through all these lovely sessions, and it's always a wonderful time. Like I always say, we are a Christian charity, and the love of God is at the heart of all that we do. And also to show the world that anything is possible. That's what we're all about, empowering the world one person at a time, and then just bringing on here diamonds and pearls who, like I said last week, we are all diamonds and pearls. We're either still in the making or we're in the journey somewhere, but we're all diamonds and pearls, and we've all been created to shine. So everyone listening, you are a diamond and a pearl. So we brought on another diamond and pearl today to shine a light and to tell us a bit more about ourselves, and and share nuggets of wisdom with us. So thank you so much, everyone. Over to you, Lizzie.
Thanks very much, Tony, for that wonderful introduction. Before we continue, can you tell us about yourself, what your background is? A bit more about you. Who is Tommie Edwards? What's your background, and why technology? Why tech? We just want to know a bit about what made you go into tech.
Hi everyone. Thanks Tolu for the introduction. Hi Lizzie, thanks for having me on Diamonds and Pearls. And I was just looking at Tolu's makeup, and I'm like, did we kind of plan this? We're wearing pink. So yeah, going back to your question, Lizzie, why technology? I think pretty much life kind of steered me in that direction. And you grew up and you try to like discover yourself, and then there's just something that you keep running back to, and something that just gives you joy that you do while you sleep. You do, and I think maybe as we go along on the conversation today, you probably get to know why technology, because it's just the story is just going to lead there. Can you hear me very well?
Yes, we can.
Okay, all right, brilliant. Yeah, so in terms of who is Tommie Edwards, I'll start with my my most pretty much pridest possession would be my kids. So pretty much I have two kids, a boy and a girl, Brianna and Albert, and they're the meaning of Tedbree. So my son Albert, his middle name is Tedrick, so that's where I got the Ted. And then my daughter is Brianna, and that's where I got the Bree. And so that's where Tedbree was born. I'm a wife to a loving husband who is very supportive and fears God so much. And those are kind of like my private things, and they're my pride and joy. Now, in terms of a career and every other thing, which Tommie does. So Tommie basically started a journey for like the age of 16 into like entrepreneurship, and she's then done so many things and found herself right now as the chief executive of Tedbree. And what Tedbree basically does, Tedbree is a tech company that serves as a tech and marketing companion to any type of business around, but more emphatically forward-thinking businesses. So we find ourselves not only within the small businesses, we also find ourselves within medium and enterprise businesses as well. So for as long as a company is forward thinking and requires technology and marketing, that's where you're going to find Tedbree. So that's what we do. And in the midst of all this, we've created our own products as well. So we've got the Tedbree as a product, which is going to be launched very soon. We're pretty excited about that. We've got Made with Bree, we've got reviews, and we've got Tedbree Social out there. So those are kind of like what in a nutshell describes Tommie, but all those doesn't like pretty much form her, because it's like coming to form who Tommie is today has taken a whole lot of over 30 years to make this happen. Lots of failures, lots of pain, lots of successes, lots of like perseverance. And I'm hoping that at some point we'll get to like chat about that.
Thank you so much for giving us a bit of insight into who you are. I like the fact that you got the name of your company from your two most priceless possessions, and that is, I love that. So in a way, you're paving way for the next generation.
Exactly.
So before you became the CEO for Techpreneurs, what were you doing previously? What roles were you doing? What companies have you worked with?
Okay. So I think that my entrepreneurship journey, like I was saying, started at the age of 16. And this happened when my mom, so I grew up in Nigeria. As you could tell, the accent doesn't just go, I've tried, still there. And so my mom went to, so at 16, I just finished secondary school, trying to, that period when you are trying to wait for your admission to then do it. Exactly. So my dad has we've pretty much done all the type of exam. I was just waiting. So, but I come from a family of entrepreneurs and hustlers. So my dad used to work for Xerox as an engineer, but while he was still working for Xerox, he had about 3 businesses. So he had a restaurant that somebody else, one of my uncles, was running on his behalf while he does his day job. But he also had a barbing salon and a business center. And if you can remember business center back then, it's a place where computers were not common. So if you have someone that has a business center, people will come in there, you find typists, you find places where you can make photocopies and do fax machine. And so while people were coming to run their business and do different things and stuff like that, we also had a barbing salon on the corner. And my parents had this very big shop that had the barbing salon on the corner, the business center in the middle, and on the side was a mini supermarket that was run by my mom. My mom, on the other hand, worked for the local government as a midwife. So she also had a day job. So at the age of 16, she decided to go to America. While I was 16, she went to America for like 6 months. So I had to now manage the entire shop, which is my mom's mini market, the business center,
And the
and also Babylon. And that was where I discovered that, oh my God, not only do I have leadership skill, because there were 15 different employees in that place. I had to manage them all. I had to pay their monies, their salaries. I had to stock up in the mini store. So understanding the trend of what people are buying and what I need to restock, make negotiations with suppliers, and ensure that I'm also the only girl and the firstborn. So ensure that the house is also kept while my mom is away. So this was a whole lot of responsibility. And when she was giving me that responsibility, I was like, is this woman joking? Like, I'm still a kid. But I'm so glad to her, and I owe her this forever, because it made me who I am today. I discovered things I couldn't believe I could do. My dad was so impressed with it. Of course, I made some mistakes in the beginning, but as soon as they showed me, or told me this is how to do this is how to do the accounts, this is what, and the business started to pick up. By the time my mom came back, she was really shocked. Not only did she find her business intact, but the profit has doubled. And I've brought in some new way of thinking. I brought in some new things. Some items she wasn't looking at before, I've really changed that because of like my young perspective and stuff. And also in the long run, I also discovered that, okay, I could also trade her money. So what I did was, while my dad was at work, I would go to the neighboring country, Cotonou, with my friend, and I'll buy, this African wax, Ankara. It's very cheap over there, so I'll buy them. And then I'll go to the banks where I go to deposit the money that is made in the store. And then I would just basically tell the cashier and all the people there that, ma'am, I'm selling Ankara in case you need. No, you don't have to pay me. You can pay me when you get your salary at the end of the month. And guess what? Yeah. People don't tell them that everyone wants their money immediately. So because I attached something to it, I realized that they were just buying that off my hands. So I'm like, demand and supply. These people need this thing, but they don't have the time to go and get it. So if I can bring it to them and give them a convenient way to pay me, they would always pay me. And all I need to do is to worry about my stock level. And that was the lesson I learned from there. So I would say my entrepreneurship journey began from there, and then from there, lots of things then happened. And I found myself in the UK after a while. Now, finding myself in the UK and going into technology, it didn't happen like that from the beginning. My first job was I cleaned toilets for a week. And while I was doing it, I was just like, what the heck? What am I doing here? I can't do this. This is not why I left Nigeria to come in here to come and do this. But I think as people tell you, when you come into this country, the type of people you surround yourself with determines how your journey, except you open your eyes very quickly. And I was glad I did. So they're not trying to like hurt you, but they just don't know better. As far as they're concerned, that was like the best move, you understand? So a student that could have a cleaning job on the side, you should be okay. And I wasn't going to have it, but the spirit, and I believe that the determination and the fact that I know that I was made for more just kept making me like push further. And so I think the journey just kind of like took me into, after doing that, I found myself working as a cashier for a store, selling CDs, learning from people how they come and how they think. And finally, I found myself doing an insurance job, and that opened my professional eyes. So doing this, I got into American Life, AIG, as an insurance person. Yeah, you probably, I don't know if I visited your house because I was doing a lot of this. and it was there. I was just like, okay, what is this insurance? So I studied insurance in uni, so now I might as well use it to do something. And I was shocked. Like the first month of starting, I won like 3 awards. So it was like best salesperson in the UK, best newcomer, best this. And people are like, who is this girl? And I just didn't know what was happening. It was just like, you have a problem. I have the answer. Why are you not going to buy? So for every objection you're giving to me, I'm throwing it back at you. And I realized that, Tommie, you can sell. What else can you do? People started, when you go to their houses, they started to talk about mortgages. So I'm like, oh, okay. What's this mortgage thing about? Then I remember, I think we were using Yahoo. Google was not that popular. So I went on to Yahoo, figured out, okay, what is mortgages all about? How do I sell mortgages? They're like, to sell mortgages, you need to become a mortgage advisor. I'm like, how do I become a mortgage advisor? I saw the what I needed to do. I wrote the exams. I failed. Oh my God. It was very humiliating. The first round, I passed. The second stage, I failed like 3 times, but I didn't give up. I just kept going back. And it wasn't like I really had the money, but it was just the fact that I had to really do this. So I just kept on going back and going back for it. And finally, I was able to pass the exam, and then the journey came again. How do I, now that I have the certificate, how do I become a mortgage advisor? So all this, I don't want to like bore you on this call, but all that led to who Tommie is today. Going from there, I realized that, okay, there are other things there that you could do as well within within the UK. The UK is like a land of opportunities, but you just have to open your eyes and follow what is your path. What And I think, like as my mentor would say, follow the money. And it's not just the money, because if you follow the money and not help people in the process, they're going to fall back at your feet. So a generation happened and the recession happened, and I realized that, okay, mortgages might not be the way. And what am I trying to say here? It's like I discovered that Tommie has a resilience of pretty much redefining herself as many times as possible. And then I took myself again and I'm like, okay, my husband, which is my husband now, I don't know why I said my husband then. My husband was, he was within IT then, and his friends were also like doing that as at that time. So they were talking about, okay, business analysis, this and that. I'm like, all right, I'll think about this. And so at some point during my mortgage, while I was doing mortgages and stuff like that, I decided that I was going to go invest in myself. And myself and my husband went to Harvard, and we took a program in Harvard, and that literally opened another level of my eyes again. So this is me like going from Tommie, the little entrepreneur that understood demand and supply, Tommie that now understand the fact that, okay, when you go into some professional circle, you need to know what people want so you can give it to them. Now, Tommie that can build sustainable wealth, that can think of something, things that people don't even think that they want, but you then create a need for it and then serve people for that. And I learned that there was this particular Harvard Business Review that I read, which was about the failure tolerant leader. And that's like changed another dimension for me, because what that taught me was the fact that it's actually important for you to fail. And many times as you fail, you just need to understand why that happened that time, because it's just really building your resilience, and it's just really building you up to the next thing. Provided you don't give up and understand the reason why, you will always make it in the end. And also try to not only, this failure doesn't just apply to you, it also applies to the team that you build. You need to cultivate an environment where it is okay for people to fail. And those were kind of like things that I took from that. Taking that, I'm like, okay, Tommie, what do you do with this information? I then decided I was going to start a business that would not only be something that was going to be sustainable and build generational wealth, but would be something that would help people and would also grow me in the process. And that was where I discovered the logistics business. I started a logistics business called Software Couriers. And that took me to something else, a different dimension. I started to now have contracts with likes of DPD, FedEx, and all these enterprise companies, and really supplying them the drivers that they need. So I'm like, okay, this also works in this level. And the business was like making money, however small it was, even though it was very seasonal. Because the business was seasonal, I realized that, okay, I still need to do something else on the side to be able to pretty much bring my income, my household income up. And so I decided to take followed the path of what my husband was doing and looked into business analysis. So I became a business analyst, and I started as a contractor. And based on all the experiences that I've had, it was quite easy for me to understand business analysis, because that's what I've been doing all my life, to be honest. I've pretty much been analyzing businesses and pretty much providing exactly. But because you couldn't give it a terminology as at then, I didn't understand. But when I then was now on the job, I'm like, okay, at the end of the day, what do these businesses want? Is either they want to grow their profit for their shareholders, they want to solve a problem in order to do what, either make the experiences of their customers better or grow the profit. If you think in the mindset of a business person, you would understand this business analysis easily. And that was what I did. So it was quite easy for me to then myself in the mix and started to get jobs. And I think one of the jobs that helped me become a tech entrepreneur today was a role I took at Barclays. So I took this role at Barclays, and it was a digital role. Now, on this role, I think I was there for like 2 years plus, and that was the beginning of us working on Barclays Pingit was one of the projects that we worked on. At the same time, there were other interesting projects within Barclays, but they were all digital. So I became a lead BA within that particular project, and I just fell in love with technology. I fell in love with the simplicity of what it could do. And from there on, I vowed that I wasn't going to take on any other project if it wasn't a digital transformation project. So I went on to work for Aviva. I went on to work for Hiscox, doing really building some very core technical projects that are actually like still shaping lives today, and they're still alive and they're still very, very well. And thinking of all that made me think, okay, if you can do this for them, then why can't you do this for yourself? So I decided I was going to build my own logistic app called Multi-Droppers. And I spent all my time. So while I was going to work during the day, at night, I'll come back home and I'll start to design this. I'll start to like try to figure out, okay, I learned how to do some mini codes. I learned how to design an app from scratch. I learned how to use Sketch. I started to like sketch out my ideas because I figured out that the people that I was hiring, sometimes they couldn't like really do every single thing that I wanted them to do. So in order for me to do it right, I felt like, Tommie, you have to understand this. So you could further explain it to them and they could actually really give you what you want. So I think all of that was what brought me into, gradually God brought me into Tedbree, and what brought me into my first taste of technology. So I hope I haven't gone too around in circle, but I had to like give you the preamble for you to like get how we are.
Well, that was amazing. Before Lizzie, let me just say something before you go on. That was so amazing. I picked on some things there that, you know, thinking about the lady we had last week and thinking about what Tommie said, is just like making things clear that there's something Tommie said, that you have to know that you're made for more. So regardless of where you are, you know that you're made for more. You find your path and you grow yourself in that path. Because I think sometimes we struggle because of so many things. One may be because we don't know we're made for more. Another may be because we've just not found the path, or we're not sure of what the path is. But like Tommie, like as shown in Tommie's story, finding the path and growing in it, you just keep going, don't you? Because then you keep finding, and the Bible says that be fruitful, multiply, and replenish the earth. I think people don't realize that that's in stages. You have to first find your path and be fruitful, and then you can start growing by multiplying, and only then can you start replenishing. Let's even forget that it's scripture right now. Just trying to think in terms of word, like be fruitful, find your path, and then multiply whatever that is by growing in there and then replenishing. So for me, that's amazing. Thank you. Over to you, Lizzie.
Actually, I don't even need to. My next question will have been to ask you why you left paid employment, but I do not need to ask that question because you've already talked about it. You know, you said you keep redefining yourself. I held on to that. You know, you don't stay at one place. And I like the fact that you didn't stop because you failed at something. You kept trying. You kept trying until you got to where you need to be. In the process of you trying, you're finding what the the problem is you're finding what people need and you're providing solution as well. So in the process of you redefining yourself, you can see where the gap is in the market, and then you're providing solution to bridge that gap. And I was just thinking, okay, I think she's just answered all the questions that I want to answer. Let me just pack up now, just go. But it's true, you know. You said something about you having a app, multi-toppers. What does that app do? Because I was just interested to, because you were talking about you working in Barclays and Pingit and all of that. By the way, I love technology. If there's anything, I always try to see how things work. I want to know. It's cost me a few DIY mishap in the house.
Not part of the process.
But one good thing I've learned, I think it might be something about your dad was an engineer. My dad is an engineer. My dad is an engineer as well. So it might be something about that. You know, you just pick up stuff without actually knowing why you pick them up, but it just become part of you. So you were talking about you having multi-toppers, the app. What does that app do? I'm just curious to know, because my antenna has gone up now.
Right. Okay. So at the moment right now, we actually have like 4 different apps, and multi-droppers never saw the light of day. So it's still sitting down on my laptop somewhere in my archive, and maybe someday I might do something about it. But what does multi-dropper, what did I plan for it to do? So you know where you have Uber just now, yeah. So multi-dropper was meant to be like an Uber, but not for picking up. It's meant to be B2B. So in terms of, you know, when a parcel comes to your house, it's brought by Amazon or UPS or all these other guys.
DPD.
Now, exactly, DPD. So DPD was one of our biggest customers alongside CityLink. I think this is leading on to another story. Now, what in terms of what I wanted multi-droppers to do was to be able to, these guys can just come in onto the app. When I say these guys, I mean like DPD, like FedEx are going to be like our customers, and they would have a contract with us. And then it's down for us to then provide them with pretty much drivers that can deliver to your door, the last mile drivers that can deliver to your door. Now, that's what we do at Software Couriers. That's what we used to do at Software Couriers. So now this is me taking the concept and now turning it into an app, which we actually built. We built it completely. I just did not launch it. And that is something that I've kicked myself for, but it's fine. I think I wasn't meant to. And so that was what I was meant to do that. So they could just pick up their phone or could go on their desktop and say, can we have 5 drivers? And they could see the drivers that are live, and they could see the drivers that are currently on the platform. And they could then say, I want this one, I want this one. And not only that, they could then see as the driver is moving all around using geolocation to be able to see where the driver is and what they've dropped and stuff like that. So that was what that was meant to do. And what made me chicken out? I completed everything. It's not like I stopped in the middle. It was built. And but a year before or 2 years before we were meant to like launch it, what closed Software Couriers was the fact that one of our biggest supplier was CityLink. And I don't know if you guys remember, in December 2014, CityLink woke up on Christmas Day and went bust. People heard that news on BBC and just felt, oh God, I was just one of the very unfortunate suppliers that they were owing £181,000. And that meant all my drivers that I was meant to pay, I still had to pay them in order to carry on the reputation of the company. Some of them fell out, but all the money just went down the drain, which was the capital for the business, which was even dipping into my own personal money that had nothing to do with the business. And that was like a major loss for a company of our own size. And so when we were about to launch multi-droppers, I heard that Amazon was bringing out Amazon Flex, which was doing a similar thing as what we're going to do, but they were just going to focus on Amazon products. And I'm like, I'm just going to get crushed. And this was me like really, Tommie, do you know what? When you thought of this idea, you had like 7 ideas. Let's pick another one and go and do that one. Okay. And that one is successful, you can come back to this one and do this one and then sell it off. Do you understand? So that was what then brought me into, there was a problem you had during your wedding when you couldn't find suppliers. You know what? Let's create an app for that. So we created Eventbree. And Eventbree, then like, gosh, Eventbree then took us on a different type of journey in terms of what we wanted to do with Eventbree was to have an app where people can find suppliers quite easily. And so we ended up creating Eventbree and we launched Eventbree. And quickly as we launched Eventbree, we realized that there were some, the market speaks to you. You as a tech inventor, you have to listen to the market and pretty much pivot quickly as the market is speaking to you. But you have to know when to pivot, and you have to also know how to listen to the market. So we launched it as a marketplace, and quickly I realized that what people actually really wanted was more of a concierge service, whereby they don't want to be shopping. Okay, there are 10 different photographers. Yes, I know there were 10, but which one should I go for? So we decided to then flip the marketplace idea and turn Eventbree into a concierge service. So I'm very happy now that Eventbree has gone ahead to win us, to get us into places, got me into G20, got me into I don't know where I'm meant to begin with what this tiny little idea has really done, because it then made people like, even though for me it didn't achieve as the level of success I would have. We were just starting this journey. It didn't achieve the level of success I would have wanted it to, but there was something there. But what we are doing with it right now is that we are now selling Eventbree on. I'm very excited. We have a company looking to purchase the company, the business, and because we have like shifted into fully now doing, instead of just constantly building our own apps, but now helping other people achieve these ideas that they want to achieve, because we know how to do that. And but I can't even like phantom. The day when we launched Eventbree, I wrote something on Facebook and I said that today Eventbree begins this journey on becoming a household name. Oh my God, did it just fulfill that? It really just went beyond my expectations. I was shocked that waking up one morning and seeing my picture on Forbes on a quote, and then like a few days later again, I'm like, what's happening? And then I logged onto somebody's website, and this is like a big multi-million-pound company, and my face is there on their landing page as what's it called? The CEO of this and this said this about this. I'm like, what is going on? And I'm looking at my bank account. It does not match. You get the point. It does not match what was happening. But I'm like, what is going on? People are really like liking the fact that you're doing this. People are benefiting from this. People are liking the whole journey. And that just kept inspiring me to keep doing more and to keep going for it. And not only did it do that, I learned a whole lot about myself. Too much. This is like, I've been on a lot of journeys, but this is the journey. You know, when you're like, there's some journeys that I will do myself an injustice if I do not document this journey. This journey is like, I can't describe it. You have to be close to it to really understand what this journey has done. It's a journey of pain. It's a journey of resilience. It's a journey of, I can't just give up. Not again. I can't give up. And I've had like, you see your friends doing very, very well, and you know that you've altered your own direction just because you decided to go in a different path. There's the temptation of you looking back and saying that all I need to do is to submit my CV.
I'll get a job.
And this £1,000 that I want to pay that I don't have, I will be able to pay it. Do you understand? But then I'm like, but you then look back and like, what happens if I do this? Like, no, I'm giving it my absolutely all. And am I glad I did? I'm sitting right now. I can't even believe what is happening. What is happening with the business at the moment is incredible. It's yeah, but it's going to be something that the world will start to see. It's something that is going to play out in front of every single person. That all the things that have been done in the dark, in pain,
in the background,
it's not going to play out, and people will wonder that it just happened. No, nothing just happened.
Yeah. Yeah, like we say about Joseph, like, when we say overnight, it wasn't overnight. It was in prison for how many years? It was in Potiphar's house for how long? It wasn't overnight. the nights and the turmoil and the waiting and the pushing and all of that.
And that's how
people just see the success. They don't know what actually goes into getting there. So a lot of people we have, especially the youth, especially in Nigeria that I know of, they want to have success without actually doing the work. And I'm thinking, actually, it doesn't work that way. You have to put in, you have to put in a lot to get something out of it. And what you put in might not even, when you get the result, what you've put in, the effort you put in, and the result you get, it might not even match. But it's just putting in that effort first. Yeah, it might not match for now, but in the long run, you're going to get there.
I totally agree with you. And I think that was the thing that I really, really learned when I went to Harvard, because prior to that, it was all about, you do just a little amount of work and you get a lot of money. You do just a little amount of work, you get a lot of money. And that led me into money was always going to come. So that led me into not thinking about some of the investments, not some of the things that I'm doing. I remember going for my friend's wedding in Nigeria in 2000 and I can't even remember. Was it 2007? I just went for wedding just to become a chief bridesmaid. I came back owning a hotel. Do you understand what just happened? I didn't think about it, because I know that I'm always going to make money from somewhere. So I went into, yes, did I give that a good shot? But it was just the wrong decision. And so going back to, you want to get everything right now. You think that you do something little and you get a lot of money, or you don't work so hard and the money will just start to come, or you want to live the Instagram lifestyle. It's fake. Nothing just work like that. For every successful person that you've seen, that that was one of the major things I did to myself. I decided to see, where do I want to be? Who is living the life I want to live? I need to understand what they've done to get there. And I spent money. I went to Las Vegas. I went to Miami seeking education. This is just going for conferences. When you get listening to thought leaders, listening to people. And I just kept on coming back to the same thing. They're all saying the same thing. The truth is that you have to get yourself knowledge. Knowledge is power. Knowledge is a lot of power. The day you stop learning is pretty much, if I might as well just want that. Because knowledge is powerful. Now, when you have that knowledge and you don't act upon it, you're as good as, why did you get it? Did you understand? So you need to, now, once you get that knowledge, you then need to act upon it, and you then need to take it and run with it, because those information are things that change very quickly. And in the type of world that we are, in terms of the digital world, speed is incredible. You have something that is like fancy today. There's this shiny new syndrome.
Toy.
Exactly. It's like, so for you to, and that is why all the apps you're saying today, they are releasing version 2.0, version 1, just to keep up with what is going on. And that's how life itself is. You can't stay stagnant and say, all right, now I've made it. You get things just change very quickly. So we just have to keep adapting, keep learning, keep being vulnerable, and staying humble throughout the entire process, because you really do not know where you learn from. You learn from, like, you really won't believe the kind of things you're going to learn from just someone that you look at someone and you're like, I'm not really sure about this person or what they can teach you. But once they open their mouths, the places they've been, you haven't been. The people they know, you don't know. You understand? And you don't know how opening their mouth can pretty much change the course of and change the direction of your life into like a greater place. So I know that this is like off point, but
it's totally in point.
It's on point.
It's so on point.
If you look at most of the shops that are closed now, and the reason they're closed is it's a digital world now, and they did not run with it. They're still trying to do things the traditional way. Mother care, for example, I was saying I miss mother care, but in a way, I can go online and get whatever I want and have it delivered into the comfort of my house. I don't need to go into their store, walk around, order, and try and put it in my car. You know, there's so many things that's going now, that's ongoing now. And if the businesses are not picking up on that and running, you know, having a long-term vision of where they want to be, seeing what's going on around them, and kind of like changing the way they do business, changing the way they operate, they're going to go bust. And
Exactly.
it's a fact.
Yes, and technology is just catching up. 10 years ago, the cost of actually creating an app or to create like a tech business was like crazy. But right now, the costs are like coming down because there's just so many people trying to do different things. And because of that, people are coming up with more different kind of solutions to really help you actually do something. Because and then you still have some people who tell you, Tommie, how come you come up with this? I have this idea. I'm sure it has happened to both of you on this call. Like you have this idea, and you're like, if only this and this and this, and you think that this idea is unique to you because you thought of it, and it was like an eureka moment, but you didn't do anything with it. And like 2 years from now, I saw somebody do it.
Yes,
I have lots of that. I have lots of that, and I'm thinking, it was with Tolu that I was saying this, that actually I had an idea of doing like you know how you go into Tesco and stuff, and you see you have a version of our food on the shelf, which, well, when I say our food, African food, which really doesn't taste anything like you know our food. And I was saying to Tolu that it would be good to have like jollof rice seasoning already in there with instructions saying just wash your rice and pour 1 cup of rice or something like that. And I didn't do anything about it. So like the Uncle Ben's rice, you know, having Uncle Ben's rice thing. And then I went back into my local Tesco and I found jollof rice, Nigerian jollof rice on the shelf. I find moi moi on the shelf. I was like,
and that's it.
So I think once you have the idea, run with it. Run with it, because
idea is
someone somewhere has got someone somewhere is even cooking up the same idea. You know, they're looking around, because the thing is, everyone has got this is a jet age in a way. We all can see where the shortfall is. We all can see where the gap is, and everyone is thinking, how can I bridge that gap? And got someone somewhere else sitting and thinking of, how do I bridge this gap as well? And they might come up with the same solution as you. So if you don't run with yours, you just have an idea and you're sitting on that idea. Before you know it, someone else is running with it.
Exactly.
And that's what's happening now.
Yes,
so
exactly. Sorry.
So I like the fact that you said, even though you've built multi-truckers and everything like that, but you didn't launch it, but that did not stop you from building other things. I like that fact, because I know with a lot of people, once they hit that first obstacle, that's it. They sit on it and think, I'm not going anywhere with this, and just give up. But I like the fact, that resilience, that, you know, you went like, okay, this one, let me leave it. I build, I spend money, but let me leave it. Let me look at all the things, all the ideas I've got in the pipeline and work on those as well. I love that so much. And I'm here thinking, so it's not just thinking this one has failed and I'll sit on having a pity party on it. But no, what else have I got in the box? What else have I got up there? What other ideas have I got? And how can I work with those and run with those? So I think for anyone listening to this, that's a very important nugget to hold on to. If something fails, you've already said it, that when anything fails, we should find out why. But in this case, you didn't even launch it, but because of the experience you had with CityLink and stuff like that, that's why you pack it. But you packed it, but that didn't mean that you packed that and you just sat down saying, I'm going back to my 9 to 5. No, you looked at what other ideas have I got, and you went straight into it and made them what they are today. So anyone listening to this, I just hope they catch that important nugget and they hold on to it and make use of it.
Yeah, exactly. I just felt like because idea is nothing, you get, execution is everything, and that's where people fail. To every 1 million ideas out there, only pretty much maybe just 10 of them are executed properly, and I'm even giving that maybe too much credit. And that is so difficult to like execute something properly, because it has this long process that it has to take. And that is what separates that's why there's extra in ordinary. That's what separates ordinary. And that's what makes you extraordinary. The fact that you're willing to really push and do something that no one else will give a thought to do. And that's what really makes you shine. So we have clients that will come to us and say, oh, this idea, it's unique. I really don't want anybody. Someone's going to steal my idea. I used to be like you. Someone's going to steal my. Trust me, your idea is nothing. There's someone else that's thinking about it right now. If it's that important to you, then have a trademark on it or patent it in a way. But for execution of that idea, you have no idea how long it's going to take you. No, it's not just the system, because the system is one thing. Having the app is one thing. Building the processes they are going to use to actually be able to cater for the people that are going to use the app is another ball game entirely. Then now finding the adequate resources, the people that are going to help you in managing and running those things, because you can't do it alone. You need a solid team behind you. That's what actually makes a business. It could be an incredible leader, you could be great, but you can't be great at every single thing. And that is why we can't be an island. We have to always like evolve and learn. And the things that you know you're good at, just follow it. Things that you don't know, things that you're not sure you're not that good at, you just people that exactly. And yeah, and that's it. I love this thing from that Beyonce said, like, if you're not called to the table, yeah. And let's be real, this is something that we all know that is happening out there. You know you're good, you know you can do this, you know you're better off than some people but you are just not called to the table for one reason or the other. Then you could build your own table. Build your own table and then call them. Come and sit down around the table and help you push it forward. And that is what makes an incredible business. So all of these things, they sound like, oh, let's just hear it and they're fun, but like doing it in your day-to-day life, it's tough, but that is what separates you from everybody else. And for me, I feel like Tolu said something about the Bible. I can't remember the verse, but I just know that God has made us to be fruitful, and fruitful has nothing to do with children. It's not just by children, because they've interpreted it in a different way in church.
They have, to be honest, they have. But if you look at it, it's just not talking about marriage. It's talking about, was it someone, I heard a quote somewhere where someone said that, you know, they will love to die empty. And I think that's what fruitfulness is all about, that by the time you die, can you really say, yeah, I came, I saw, I conquered, and I gave everything and I died empty. You know, that someone was saying one time that when you go to the graveyard, you see a lot of talent laying down in the graveyard, and that's because they didn't utilize it, they didn't die empty. So being fruitful is not about just having kids. It's not even about having money, to be honest.
Exactly.
I think it's about being wealthy. But even if you're wealthy and you're prosperous, but you're not helping anyone. When I say helping anyone, it's not by giving people money, but doing something that's beneficial for mankind. It's someone created the electricity and whatever we've got. Someone sat down there and created this Wi-Fi. Someone sat and created this platform that, you know, especially Zoom has been a thing now during lockdown, you know. And, you know, someone sat and created all of this to enable human beings interact, to enable us to business in a different way, do study in a different way, do things in a different way. So I think this is what it means by being fruitful, not about kids, not about money or anything.
I 100% agree with you. And I just feel like the meaning to me, it's what you just described, is the fact that I was created for a reason. I was created for a purpose on this earth. The day that I realized, and I think, you know, there's a difference between knowing and realizing. The day that I realized that we are all going to die, as in like totally die and take not one pain with you. Then that makes you understand that you just have to pour every single thing that you have been given, every single thing that God has invested into you. Pour it out and make sure that somebody else take the bat and runs with it. And that is when you really ran a good race. That is when you really left a legacy that someone can learn, like take on and follow. And that's what it's all about. Because at the end of the day, you're not going to take your money to the grave with you. You're not going to take your cars, your house, your kids, or anything. You're going to go alone as you came alone. And it's just important that we just reevaluate what is important to us. And for me, what is important is pretty much making sure that I'm a Christian, as you can tell, making sure that I can face him at the end to say that I gave it everything. He gave this to me and I wasn't selfish with it. You understand? I poured it out as I felt. I made mistakes on the way. You helped me and you picked me up and I delivered what I can do. And that is it. That's the fight every single morning. And
Absolutely.
exactly. So, and in places where you're going to fall short, and this is where you pretty much sit down and think about it. Who gives the wisdom of the earth? Who brings the wisdom to the world? And that is where I sit down, because this happens to me practically every single day, because you have to make some very tough decisions. And I face the mirror and I'm like, oh my boy, Tommie, you're tired. No, you can't be tired. And I'm like, am I motivating myself just by saying words? But then I say this powerful word to myself: Jesus, be my wisdom and lead me. And I just find myself just pretty much like, do you know what? I can't kill myself. This is the decision I've said I'm making, and I'm sticking by it because I believe that I have asked for that, and that is how I'm making the decisions. And those decisions, I believe that as every single aspect, I won't change anything for anything. The good, the bad, the ugly is all part of making the person, and it's all part of the entire experience, and it's all part of pretty much taking you to the journey of who you're going to become and what you're going to be and how you're going to be perceived. So yeah,
it's part of your story as well. Everything, it comes in a package.
True.
So from what you said to us, we know it's not been easy, leaving a full-time job or going into business and trying to set up your tech company. You said you provide tech and marketing solutions for forward-thinking organization. I like that. Actually, I think that should be like your motto. Because I like that. So we know it's not, to be honest, nothing is easy when you're setting out. So we know you've had a few challenges along the way. Can you just give us one or two challenges that you've actually encountered? We've heard about multi-trappers. We heard about, what made you pack that to one side and things like that. What other challenges have you had along the way?
Where do I begin? There's so many, so many. When you're starting up a business, especially something that's an idea in your own heart, the fact that describing it to other people is difficult, because and knowing the type of people to describe it to is also extremely important, because you have some people that not because they don't believe or trust in you, but they are just limited in their own understanding and limited in their own thinking. So that was the beginning of the challenge, in sense that I had to start to reevaluate that. It's lonely. That's where I'm going to. It's a lonely experience that sometimes there's some decisions that you have to make and you really cannot talk to them. And if you are lucky, which I was, to have one or two people that are clued up in the direction that you're going, that understands the exact points that you are and understands how, then they could help you. So some of the challenges that I faced when I was, while I was building Tedbree itself, for Tedbree, I came up with the name with my brother, who is my co-founder, in 2016. And the idea was that we wanted to build this digital tech solution that helped different people, but in the process, build our own products as well. And that's what we're doing. That's what it was set up to do, and that's what it's doing. But the challenges of finding the right resources, the challenges of understanding, making people actually trust that you can do this sort of thing for them, even you learning the things that you want to do for people. And like I said, things that constantly evolve, and keeping up with what is going on in the industry. Those were like a big challenge, in the beginning. And that's something that I've said it very, very lightly, but I know how difficult it was to be taken seriously. So let's forget the fact that there are very, very, and there are very, very few women that are running a business in technology. And then there are now minute women that are Black, I'm running a business in technology. So like I said, I'm pretty much like diversity times 2, you get. And so a niche of a niche. So it leaves you with not too many people to talk to.
So you really don't have anyone that you can say, okay, this is another, person that's done this, who is from my background, an African or whatever that I can speak to. So you kind of like, sorry?
I won't say you don't have anyone, but there are just very few.
I know they're very few. It's you can count on the tip of your fingers in a way. So it is difficult bouncing things, or or getting ideas. If when it comes to that, when you've got like the market for that in our background is not saturated enough with enough people from our background there, kind of. But guess what? You're changing that by doing what you do. You change the narrative. By doing what you do, people are listening to this as well, and they're thinking, if she can do it, I can do it. I just need to start somewhere. And I love the fact that the internet is all this social media and stuff at the tips of our fingers. We can actually find information, and this is what I need to do. How do I get to do it? And then learn. Yeah. You said something about learning, constantly learning. That the day we learn, we might as well go and kill ourselves and die and say, what, that's been done. But if you're constantly learning, you have an idea, research it, learn, speak to whoever you need to speak to put on the right track. So you're setting the bar now, and I know people listening to this is giving them ideas, especially for younger girls. When they're choosing a career path. I love the fact that they've got this STEM thing going on there. They're trying to get girls more into and stuff like this, technologies. So it's I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to what this would look like in the next 5-10 years, with the kind of impact we'll have from women generally in technology. So one last question, because I know we've taken a lot of your time. I know I want to sit there and continue talking to you, but I'm conscious of the fact that you've got family, and we've taken some time out from the weekend to speak to us. So what would your advice be for anyone, especially ladies, looking to go into IT?
I would say pretty much just do it. And when I say just do it, it's not just if you want to go into IT, just remove the word try from your dictionary. So either you're going to do it or you're not going to do it. So if you just want to try it, then don't bother, because try is not going to get you anywhere. So it's pretty much do it and put your entire all into it. Are you going to face an obstacle? Absolutely, yes. You're going to face numerous obstacles that will make you cry at night. And you're going to have people that you really, really love sometimes tell you the harsh reality, but you still have to follow the word that told you to go into this. You understand? So that's what I'm going to tell them. You have to do this. Now, another main thing is you have to surround yourself with the right people. Your circle of influence has to constantly change, and it has to be, a word says that, I think it was I can't remember. I'm trying to remember who said this, but it's something that resonates with me a whole lot. If you walk into a room and you're the smartest person in that room, you need to check yourself. So yeah, and it just means that you have friends for different things, but you need to grow. You understand? So you also need to grow. And in order for you to grow, it means that you need to go into a room where you are the dumbest person in that room and try to learn from those so that they can impact you, and then you can grow. So that's something constantly that you need to find. Keep your ears down and evolve with the right technology. Don't just believe that because you know this, that is it, because it changes very quickly. And yes, and then build a team. And when building a team, don't build a team that you need to micromanage. Lead. Build a team that sees your passion, that wants to follow you and understand where you are going and what you really need to build. So don't build a team just because of their degrees and stuff like that. Build a team that has the heart, and a team that is going to understand the impact that you want to make and can follow that impact and help you achieve the dream that you want to do. So those are like some of the nuggets that I would I'll give. And in whatever progress you are making, I will just put one foot in front of the other because it's powerful. And sometimes you don't see it. It's like going to the gym. If you say, oh, I want to lose 20 kg, and then you go to the gym and you think that going to the gym 1 week will make it happen. It's a consistency. It's a constant. You have to, and you won't see what you're doing. But when you look back,
process.
yes, when you look back 3 months, you are not where you started from. And that is exactly what the journey is about.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. One of the things I'm just going to quickly do a quick recap. Try to do it. Surround yourself with the right people. You know, if you fail, find out why you fail, and keep going at it. Keep redefining yourself as much time as possible, and keep learning. You know, keep learning. That we've got the resource at our fingertips. We need to research and learn. And once you have an idea, put it down, pen to paper, and run with it and work with it. Thank you so much for taking time out to come and speak to us. And thank you so much. You've even made me. I say I'm interested in technology. I used to say that to tell you that I love working in technology, and every time there's a new thing out, I'm always I always go and get and try and figure out how it works, why it works, apart from social media. Social media is the one thing that I'm not really fan of. But when it comes to technology, things that can make my life easier and better. Yeah, I love it. Tolly, will you do the honors, please?
Yes, thank you so much, everyone, for listening. It's been amazing. And thank you for that recap, Lizzie. Thanks, Tommie, for all the nuggets, amazing nuggets. Gosh, there's so much that you've said to us, so much for us to go away and just listen, to, think about, the things that we want to do, just hit the ground running. And, I also like the last thing that you said, and I think Lizzie said that as well. When the Bible says that, write down the vision, make it plain. So you have the passion, just do it, write it down and start running with it. Thank you so much, Tommie. God bless you. And I hope if we have someone who needs some kind of mentoring, we can just pick up the phone, like, Tommie, someone wants to go up in tech. Can you help this?
Absolutely. Yeah, all day long. That's what it's all about.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Thanks for coming. God bless you. And I pray that, that business will definitely be a household name. We'll all be downloading the apps, and, even if it's B2B, we'll still be at the back end of it, enjoying, somehow. So yeah, thanks so much once again. Thanks, Lizzie, our hostess with the mostess. Thank you, everyone listening. God bless you guys, and stay tuned with us for next time, and we'll bring another diamond and pearls on the platform. God bless you guys. Have a wonderful,
Thank you so
wonderful
much.
day.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.
Bye.